it's the Monday morning, and that means Steve Westman, the Curious Townie, is here. And Steve always brings some fun guests.
I brought a very fun guest.
And an old friend of mine, too, Justin.
Absolutely.
How
Good
are
to see you,
doing?
man. I'm doing well.
You're back in town.
Yes, I was gone for about 9 months. I was up in Denver.
Doing food writing.
Yes.
For the 5280, which is their big city magazine there. It's a
Yes.
lot. That's a beautiful magazine.
Absolutely, yeah. I was the food and dining intern up there, working under the food editor, Amanda Faison. So
Great. And so, Steve, we got all kinds of great food stuff to talk about. There's been all kinds of great restaurants that have opened up lately.
A lot of new stuff in town.
Yeah, well, what have you been finding?
At a good time.
I mean, I missed out on a lot of openings while I was up there,
Right.
but you know, I've heard great things about.
What are you most excited to try?
I want to try Soul and Vine downtown.
Excellent.
I've been hearing a lot of great things about it.
That is one of my favorite places. I think we're going to have the chef on here someday soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
David, it sounds really good, actually.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah,
fantastic.
they do some really great, I don't know where they even get their seafood from, but they fly it in, like, I guess overnight somewhere.
Fresh daily.
Right?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Seriously, there's a lot of stuff downtown and down towards Old Town. It's all popping right now.
It is.
It's amazing. Yeah.
It is. The new Cafe Laurel's opening up.
I heard about that one.
I have a connection to those owners.
You probably know him from the old Town days.
Well, actually, Ken Faber, the owner, we were Simakais together.
Oh.
I knew his wife when he was dating her. I knew his mom when she was running that restaurant.
Let's bring him on the show.
He needs to come on.
Make him your next Monday morning guest, and we'll talk about what it's like to relaunch.
I was getting ready to go and pop and find him. So
yes, because that would be fun to talk about, because they're bringing in the old recipes from 30, 40 years ago.
Soup, all that stuff.
Yeah, it should be great.
So
it should be
we'll
really
go down there when.
Yeah. So what are you eager to write about now that you're back on the ground here in Albuquerque? And you were with IQ. And you were with IQ for a long, long time.
Yeah, I was with local IQ for about 3 years.
And without that venue now, how are you going to be spreading your...
Well, I always stay current on my Instagram. You can always follow me there, see where I'm eating, where I'm traveling, that sort of stuff. But I'm also working on a website. It's not quite live yet, but it's going to be a kind of a combination of blog and portfolio website. It's going to be called DeLaDining.com.
Excellent.
I'm hoping to have it up in the next couple of weeks. Just still working out some little kinks and trying to do it all by myself. And I don't have a web designer or anybody quite yet.
It's never as easy as you think it is. Is it?
Yeah.
You think, I can just put a website up, and then 6 months later, you're like, I'm still trying to put my website up.
Maybe I should pay somebody to do this for me.
Yeah, the Curious Townie site.
Justin and I are in the same boat with this right now.
Me too.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, right. And the Curious Townie site's been in the works for a few minutes.
It's in the works, and I think it's almost tweaked, and I think I'm not going to jinx it. So
excellent. Where have you eaten since you've been back that you're thinking is like the next big Albuquerque thing?
Let's see. I'm still kind of working my way around because I was gone for 9 months, so I'm still kind of hitting my old favorites.
Right.
Recently I had lunch at taqueria called La Isla over on Bridge. I don't think it's going to be the hottest restaurant in Albuquerque, but it was just fantastic. It was just everything that I wanted.
We forget about the little taquerias out there on Bridge.
Yeah.
There's that one. There's Los Siete Mares is out there. That's one of the great mariscos places. There's some really great restaurants out in that neighborhood. It really is this kind of undiscovered culinary paradise out there of food that is just mind blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, once I'm done getting hitting the old favorites, I'm going to start. Probably in this next week. I want to hit Fork and Fig, Soul and Vine.
We had the guys on from Fork and Fig the other day,
Cool.
and they brought us some of their cool new. It was a salad they made. It's just it was simple, but it was just amazing. It was special recipe stuff. And then you've been to Gravy.
Yeah, of course.
And Gravy is one of my favorite new spots in town.
Definitely.
And but where else are you looking at?
Let's see, man. I mean, that's a tough one.
Because there have been some new openings that I think a lot of us are excited about.
There's that the Cajun restaurant up in Nob Hill where Seraphin's used to be.
Nolans. Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
it is.
I have not had. Have you had a chance to try it yet?
No, but he had that restaurant in the Northeast Heights for a while, which of course I can't remember the name of. But he's a good restaurateur. So
Good.
It's good for the neighborhood up there too.
right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been missing Cajun food ever since Cajun Kitchen closed several years ago over on Osuna.
I forgot about Cajun Kitchen, but that was one of my kind of go-to places.
I love that place.
Yeah,
loved it. So I've been missing gumbo, so I want to go try that out. And
right.
I was also sad to see Seraphin's go, though. That was one of my favorite places.
The Chili Hut.
Yeah.
They actually had some of my favorite red chili.
There's been a lot of rotating restaurants. I hope Nolan stays for a while.
Well, what do you think's going on, Steve? Is it just that time of year that we're seeing the turnover in restaurants, or do you think there's something
I actually think
deeper?
that there are buildings that are constant turnover. I know that's supposed to be urban, but you know there are spots you see that it's a different restaurant constantly.
Yeah.
It's like Parea's moves to a different spot every 3 years.
But you know, there has been a churn lately, though, in some of the old favorites of restaurants.
Yeah.
And I think if anybody knows, it's you, because you're driving around, you're seeing these people, you're talking to them.
You know, the demise of Paul's.
Paul's Monterey Inn.
Right.
You know, and that's
Paul's.
there were issues with.
Just a moment for Paul's.
I know. My black armband.
One of the best steakhouses.
You know, there were
in town.
and Charlie's Back Door, and you know, but there were other issues with why those places
But
went.
it was the old guard of Albuquerque cuisine.
Right.
We out of that, something else new comes along. Maybe it's time to let that stuff go. I mean, we do lament those places.
Right.
But, you know, something fresh and new will come along, and that'll be a favorite at some point, too.
Yeah, we'll look back in 25 years,
Right.
whatever, Fork and Fig will close in 30 years, and we'll say, that was one of the best restaurants. You know?
Right.
Yeah, hopefully they'll have that same kind of longevity, you know. Yeah.
But you've got fresh and new stuff to hit, so I'm excited to see what you write about.
So you're coming back in from Denver. What was the hot thing there, and what do you think the hot thing there is that may translate into Albuquerque's cuisine?
You know, Denver and Boulder included in that are kind of like the birthplace of fast casual restaurants.
Chipotle,
which is the style
that kind of stuff.
Chipotle. I mean, even up in Nob Hill.
Oh, Steve's giving you the disappointing looks. Steve's like, fast casual. Steve's not a fan, apparently.
That's all right.
But there are ways to do that kind of cuisine well and local.
Yeah, I mean, that style of service kind of makes it easier. It keeps a good pace for a restaurant, and it kind of takes a step out of it, you know, having to, you know, wait for a server, all this sort of stuff, and you just kind of get to put your food together, and then it comes to you. So, you know, I've seen that in a lot of places out in Denver, and there's Biju's Little Curry Shop, Illegal Pete's.
Beyond names of companies, restaurants we won't go to, but are there foods and styles of foods that we might be able to actually see here that you think restaurateurs are looking at and saying, that's my next concept, that's my next thing, the next big thing should be this? Or is it just simply the style of how we're going to be eating in the future going
I think it's just the style of how we're eating.
Not necessarily even the kind of food.
It's about you know, going locally sourced as much as you possibly can.
Right.
That's one of the most important things that I see at all the
just
Denver
like the
restaurants.
airships.
Yeah,
just like
exactly.
the airships. You find the stuff that's local, and it's cheaper and easier, and you feel great about getting it.
Right, definitely. So, I mean, I think it's definitely all about, you know, like keeping everything local and not going with these mass-produced, you know, products of, you know, food, and supporting your local economy, your local farmers. Yeah, and everybody, you know, supports each other that way. You know, everybody's huge fans of local craft beer. So,
of course,
you know, seeing a lot more of that happening. And
I think a lot of us are getting
popping into every restaurant too.
Right. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
You know, here in Albuquerque, I know the CSA farm boxes are just the greatest thing, right? When you order it like every week you get this box of awesome stuff.
Right.
Is that the kind of thing that we're going to start seeing more in restaurants? Is that kind of idea? I think that's how most of us interact with the local farm, is getting our farm box.
Absolutely. I think it could be. You know, of course, you know, going down to a local level does increase the price, but you're also getting the quality. So that's
supporting
something that
your
we could
locals.
see. It's just got to be all about if you want to see that change.
That sounds like a plan. We'll be back in a couple of seconds. We're going to talk with our friend Greg Frost, and he and I had lunch on Friday, and we got to see this awesome stuff happen, and we'll talk all about what entrepreneurship stuff is going on in just a couple of minutes on the Morning Brew with Friends.